my channel, Bookish Brie X. My name is Brianna, and today I will be filming another reading vlog. In this video, I will be reading Dune, which I'm very excited for. Today is the 13th of October, and the movie for Dune comes out on the 21st of October. And on that day, Joel and I are going to see the movie in the cinema. And so, in anticipation for seeing the movie, I wanted to read the book. I have tabs to make sure I get it done in time. So each day, my goal is to read 87 pages. I read the first 87 pages yesterday, and I actually made it a bit further. I'm on page 102. And so far, I am really enjoying Dune. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Before I read it, my sort of preconceived notions were that it was going to be really long and boring, I think just because it's a bit of an older book. And I don't know, it's just a little bit daunting for a sci-fi. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. It's quite fast-paced. From the first page, we're introduced to our characters. There isn't too much world building, which sometimes I find to be a bit too much in a sci-fi fantasy, but in this it's nice, it's interwoven in the story, so there's lots of dialogue and we're getting to know all of our characters. This will be a spoiler-free video. Before I finish this clip, I will just read you the back of the book cover so that you have an idea of what it's about. Frank Herbert's classic masterpiece, a triumph of the imagination and one of the best-selling science fiction novels of all time. Set on the desert planet Arrakis, Dune is the story of the boy Paul Atreides, oh, I don't think I'm saying that right, who would become known as Muad'Dib, and of a great family's ambition to bring to fruition mankind's most ancient and unattainable dream. A stunning blend of adventure and mysticism, environmentalism and politics, Dune won the first Nebula Award, shared the Hugo Award, and formed the basis of what is undoubtedly the greatest epic in science fiction. So I'm very excited to get into this. So far I'm finding it really fascinating. And in the movie, the main actor who plays Paul, I don't know how to pronounce his name in real life, but he was Laurie in Little Women. He's so attractive, and so that was one of the incentives to see this movie with Joel. And so I'm excited to take you along with me while I read Dune, and yeah, I'll see you again shortly. Hello again. It looks like I have a halo, but it's just my overhead light. Unfortunately, I don't have any lighting in front of me, so I can't turn off the light behind. It's been a few days since I updated you on Dune, and I am now on page 279, and quite a bit has happened. Paul's family, they are currently on Dune. They've been on the planet Dune for about nearly 200 pages now, and there's been lots of fast-paced action. We've gotten to know a lot of characters. On the back of the book it mentions that Paul would become the Muad'Dib. I'm not quite sure what that is, but like some sort of renowned leader figure. So we know that that's going to be the case, and so it's interesting through this, especially on Dune, the different things that Paul does that foreshadow the fact that he is going to become the Muad'Dib. Before picking up this novel, I did have these connotations, and I'd heard from other people that it's quite a dense read, but so far for me, I've found it very easy to get through and very enjoyable to read. Very easily, I can read 100 pages in one sitting, so that's been a really nice change. I've not read fantasy or sci-fi in quite a while. It's been a few months, and they're both genres that I really love, so I think that could be a big appeal for me when reading this. Okay, so I really like the journey that we're going on with Paul, with him discovering his powers and having it foreshadow what we know will happen, but we don't know how it will come about. And I do really like that it's a combination of sci-fi and fantasy. Yes, so not too much to update. I don't want to give any spoilers with the novel aside from I'm really enjoying it. I love that the world building isn't something that we're just seeing in large chunks of the novel. Rather, as we go along and as we're getting to know the characters, we're also getting to know what the world's like, so I think it makes it much easier to take in. Yesterday I went to Waterstones and I did some reading in the cafe, so that was really nice, and also I've been reading this novel on the beach, so far lots of fun, and I'm on track to finish before the movie comes out. So by the end of today, my goal is to be on page 352. Hello again, friends. I'm here just to give you another update on Dune. I am now on page 490, and it is quite enjoyable. I would say in about the past year, I've not been too keen on fantasy. I went through a phase where I read only fantasy for about 2 years, and then I also did my master's dissertation on sci-fi. It's the genre that I'm not too pumped for at the present time, but I am enjoying Dune. It's really very fast-paced, and I think from what I'm reading, it's making me really excited to see the movie. I can see pretty much everything that we're reading be translated really well into the big screen, so that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to mine and Joel's date night on Thursday, and overall we're introduced to many new characters. There's a primary new setting that our main character is in now, and he's kind of settling into his new position. I'm over halfway. I only have about 300 pages left. Today is Monday, and I've finished my reading for today, so I only have 3 more days worth of reading, about 100 pages per day, and I'm excited to see what will happen. I've never really been one for reading series. There have been a few series that I've read. I tend to think there are just so many books in the world that reading a series, unless I'm in love with the characters, I tend to really not read past the first book. And when I was younger, I did like series a lot more than I do now. However, last year, I think it was last September, I started the Farseer trilogy, which is just right here by Robin Hobb, and then I did also read the Live Ship Trader series, and I think it's just because Robin Hobb's writing is, I think, so beautiful. I like that it has a sort of historical medieval feel to it while being a magical fantasy. It's not really, it doesn't feel like a high fantasy with like lots of fighting, and I don't know, it just has a different feel to it, and I like that it feels more like of a medieval fantasy. I am going on a tangent, however, the whole point of me saying that was the fact that I don't think I'd go on to read any more of the Dune books. If I really enjoyed the movie and there ends up being sequels related to the next books, then I would potentially read the next ones. I think the next one is called Dune Messiah. But either way, this is enjoyable, and this is something that I've wanted to read for quite a while, and so I'm really glad to be getting to it. Yes, anyway, I will speak to you again in a bit. Thursday. It is cinema day. I have just finished the book Dune, and it was an alright book. I didn't dislike it, but there wasn't any time when I wasn't reading it where I thought, oh, I really want to pick up Dune, or I wonder what's happening with these characters. I would say I was never invested in really any of the characters. However, the characters were a really good vessel to explore the world. Dune itself is a very fascinating place, and I'd say that's the most interesting part of the novel for me. I definitely won't be reading the next books in the series. However, it has been fairly fun to read this novel in anticipation for the movie. I don't think it's essential to read the book to see the movie, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun little task I set for myself, and I will take you along to the theater. I'll be uploading this video on Friday the 22nd of October, and what I'm going to start doing from now on is have a weekly schedule of uploading on Fridays, so I wanted to announce that here. I've already nearly edited next week's video as well, and that will be me reading The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, and in that video it'll be a lot more Halloween themed, so it will be uploaded 2 days before Halloween in anticipation for that, so you'll get a fun Halloween spooky vlog with a nice spooky book. Yes, so this will be my official sign off for this video. Thank you so much for joining me along reading Dune. Once the movie's over, I will likely give a little update on what I thought of the movie, but this is the official sign off. So thank you very much for joining me. Please like this video and subscribe if you liked it and if you'd like to stay tuned for more. And I look forward to uploading weekly videos and having a more consistent schedule. So thank you for making it all the way to the end, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye! It is now Thursday evening, and Joel and I just got back from seeing Dune. It was so good. I have a bit of, I think, probably an unpopular opinion. I think the movie was so much better than the book, and if I could, I would go into the future and directly see the second film. It was fantastic. I loved it. It kept me enthralled for the entire movie. Yes, I absolutely loved it. I would consider seeing it again. Joel and I said that once all of the movies for Dune come out, we would marathon them. So that will be fun. And yes, thank you for joining me for this video. And it was really good to read the book, I think. I am interested to know, to anyone who sees Dune without reading the book, if it makes sense fully. Because I can't tell since I read the book and I understand the world quite well. I'm curious to know how it would be without having read the books. They do make it rather clear, and they add a lot of world development and explanation, so that's helpful, but I'm still a bit curious if it will make total sense. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in next week's video, the Halloween edition, and yes, thank you so much. Bye.